Alright guys, so after a little research on the illustrated parts list on gravelymanuals.com, what I learned is that the older machines had the same size bearing on the front and the back, and then when they went to the newer style, which may have been the mid to late 60s, they switched this back bearing to one that's smaller. And the newer machines, even commercial 12, etc., all use the smaller bearing in the back. These machines also all use the same worm gear shaft here also. So what I did is I found the Gravely part number for the smaller bearing, and I went down to Napa, and they had a cross-reference to a Napa bearing, which was a Timken reference that they had in stock. So for $14.87, I just scored 2 new bearings. So what we're going to have to do is get this old bearing off the back of this shaft here and install the new bearing on there, and we should be able to put this back together. Now what you'll see is that this new bearing is a lot smaller than the old one, and this race that goes with it fits perfectly in that new case. So this should be our ticket, guys. This should be it. Well, trying to get this old gear off is a little hard, or a bearing off. I tried using my press, but the worm gear is right in the way, so I can't get it off. So I'm going to try heating it up here and hammering it off. If that doesn't work, I'm going to end up having to take a pull-off wheel and a Dremel and just cut it off. Cut it in half, you know? I don't know what else to do. So, alright, see what happens. Well, I'm hammering it off. It's working. At least I got some good tunes to work by here. I've got it halfway off. Well, I got the new bearing on here. I'm a little worried because you see by my thumb here, there's all that extra space. It's almost like we need a shim in there or something. And I don't have a shim. So maybe they have this accounted for already with the... Oh, I see how it works. Here, let me show you how this works. So if you can see in here, to the width of this piece where my finger is, it's a lot wider than it was in the old one. The old piece there is very thin. So essentially what that extra width has done is kicked it forwards to account for the smaller bearing. So we should be good. So let's put it back together. Now I got to put the new race in there. You see the difference between the old and the new? It's really a big difference. So again, you can see that thickness there, and that comes into play with that wider spacer in the casting. So what I've done is I'm taking my bearing and seal driver here. I'm going to try to position this inside the case here, and then I'm going to use this piece of pipe here to put in there and drive it in. I put a little bolt over this so the pipe has something to kind of hang it on. But we'll see what we can do. This is not really the easiest thing in the world, but we'll figure it out. Alright, I got the race seated in with my fingers. Now we'll put this seal driver into the hole. Okay. Now we'll put our pipe in. I'll give it a couple taps with a hammer, and hopefully it will be in. Oh yeah, that was simple. That's in, man. That's in. It's that easy. So let's see what happens now if we take our whole setup here. Get this stupid seal driver out. Okay. Now, put this whole assembly back in the hole, and we'll see what happens. Ah, perfect, perfect, perfect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And put this castle nut back on the top. Well guys, we got the whole worm gear shaft back in and we got no issues there. So now all we got to do is drop the other axle on this side, bolt it back together, and put all our accessories back on. And we should be good to go here. This is pretty exciting. So let's see what happens here. Yep. Nothing to it, huh? Nothing to it. Well, I've been working on this for a while here, and after I got that bearing in and got the axles all bolted together, I basically had to transfer the oil filter housing, the oil lines, the advanced casting, all the accessories after I put the engine on. So now I'm to the point here where everything's together. I just got to put the hitch on and the handlebars and the shift levers, and then theoretically I could try to start it. And yeah, it was a lot of work, and everything went pretty smooth though. Once I figured out that bearing issue, it was really no surprises, just a matter of putting everything together.